Details and resources for the video poker project can be found in our Canvas course site. And if you scroll down, it's currently assignment 27. And there's an executable here that you can watch it run. There's also the graphics for all the cards. There's a card.zip file that contains the back and 52 cards of the deck. And then there's also a banner. Replace the banner with a more recent version. So you want the second one, the updated banner. There's also a graphic that you're going to use for the table of payouts. And you can simply right click on that and save the picture. So you want those graphics. Let me run the executable. So here's the South Mountain video poker game that we're going to create over the course of several videos. We'll start by building the interface and then go through a couple phases of coding it. There's about 500 lines of code. I'm going to give you all the code and walk you through the process. But what I want you to get out of this is a feel for what it's like to create a little more complex program. And albeit 500 lines of code is still a very, very small program by industry standards. So some of you may be thinking, I don't know the first thing about poker. And oftentimes we're called to create programs or applications that we don't know the content area very well. And so what do you do in that case? One is to consult a subject matter expert, or what we call a SME. That might be your client. In fact, in most cases that probably will be your client or somebody who works with your client that they recommend. And the other option, there's so much information up on the internet. You can Google or YouTube things like poker. And the particular game we're creating in this project is 5-card draw. And that'd probably be a place I'd start is YouTubing 5-card draw or Googling 5-card draw, finding out the rules. And in particular, since we're creating a video poker game, I would also maybe look for video poker that might explain how that game is played. Because almost always 5-card draw on the video poker games. Though you'll also probably find a lot of strategy sites and videos out there as well on how to win at video poker. We're really more interested in how to play. So you might try play video poker. Let me just run this. So we get this display. We have 5 cards, and I can click the draw button. I have a $100 balance and I can bet from $1 to $5. I'm going to click the draw button, and it's going to randomly deal 5 cards, and I can then choose to hold a couple of cards and then click draw again, and it'll tell me how I did. So I got 2 pairs, a pair of jacks and a pair of aces. So I won $10. I can play again. And this time I'll hold the 2 5s. Could go for the flush, but hard to draw 2 cards for a flush. And almost had a straight, but didn't win anything, so better luck next time. And this time let's go for a straight. And again, didn't do very well. And here we got 2 pairs. Let's see if we can draw an ace or a 3 for the full house. But we got 2 pairs, so I'm back up to $100. And I can continue playing. And jacks are better is the most minimal win of a hand, and that gets us our money back. So I provided the graphics for you of all the cards, the payout table, and the banner, and then I'll walk you through in this video how to lay everything out. And I'm going to strongly suggest that you watch a little bit of the video, pause it, and then create the project as I do along the way. As I said, this is a bigger project. It's going to take you several hours to do this project. To start the project, you will need to download some graphics from our Canvas course site. And assignment 27, found either in the syllabus or the assignments area, you will see a zip file of cards. I'd like you to click on that and save it to your hard drive or your zip drive, and then unzip it. And that's going to give you all of the cards of our deck plus a back of the card. And then there are also some graphics for these interface. You can right click on these and download those. Or there's also another zip file here called SMCC UI Graphics 2020. It's the most recent version. You can click on that, save it, unzip it. I'd probably unzip those graphics into the same folder as my cards. And from there, let's go into Visual Studio. I've created a C# project in Visual Studio, and I named it A27 Video Poker 2020. This is the 2020 version, most recent version. If you're using the older version in the Canvas instructions, if those are still there, you can do it that way. I'm just trying to update things a little bit. For the form, I set the form to 800 by 600 size. I set my text to CS162A27 Video Poker. And I gave it a back color of dark green. So our first phase here is to build the interface. And we're going to start by taking a picture box. And this is where I updated it a little bit from the previous version where we're using labels. And there are sometimes on some computers problems with the labels and sizing the graphics correctly because of the various graphic cards that are available to us these days. I'm going to create a picture box up here. I'm not going to name it, but I am going to set the size to 780, 100. And I'm going to position that between the frame and down a little bit. I'm going to probably say the good size is 2, 5. Give us just a little bit of a few pixels at the top, but it basically stretches from side to side in our form with the window frame. And then I'm going to set an image to this. So I'm going to go to my image and click on the link. And I've already imported some graphics here earlier, but what you want to do is go to the import button and go find that poker banner 2020. So there it is, and we're going to click on that and open it. Okay, I already have it in there. So I'm going to choose my previous one, and I'm just going to say OK. And there's my banner, designed for the size of our window at 800 by 600. And the picture box should look fine if the size mode is set to normal. If you're finding a few problems there, you can set it to auto size. But normal should be just fine. I'm going to take that picture box, copy it, and paste it. So I have a second one. But this one, I'm going to change to 383, 170. I'm going to bring it down here towards the bottom left. And I'm going to change this image to be the payout poker table. And again, you're probably going to need to click import and go find that image. So there's my SMCC poker payout table. I'm going to import that. I'm going to select that. And there's my image. And again, with this kind of position down here in the bottom left-hand corner. We're going to create another picture box. And this one I am going to name. I'm going to name it PBX Card 1 with an uppercase C, the numeral 1. I'm going to set the border style to fixed single. And I'm going to set the size to 140, 194. And I'm going to set the image of this to start with of our card _000_back. And again, you might need to go import that. And here you can see all those cards that have been unzipped. And here's our back of the card, so South Mountain Community College. And then you'll see we have cards for all of the spades, all the hearts, all the diamonds, and all the clubs, going from deuce to ace in each one of those. We're going to import those into an image list in just a minute. For now, though, all I want is the back of the card. Just so I have some graphics as a reference. So I'm going to select the back, and that fits in nicely. So this should look good in your project. I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Just a slight margin on the left. I'm going to copy and paste. In that pasted one, I'm going to name PBX Card 2. I'll paste again. This one will be PBX Card 3. Paste again, and as you're probably guessing, this is going to be PBX Card 4. And then the last one is PBX Card 5. So I've got a little bit of a margin here. I'm going to increase it just a little bit between the left-hand side and that card. Same with the right-hand side. Just a little bit of a margin there. Nothing too major. kind of equidistant on both left and right. I'm going to select all 5 of those cards and let's align those to the top. Let's set the horizontal spacing to be equal. So there's my 5 cards. The next step is I'm going to take a label. I'm just going to do it kind of down here in this bottom right area for now. We're going to name this label LBL Hold 1, the number 1, capital H on the hold. I'm going to set the border style to fix single. I'm going to give it a kind of a bright back color. You can choose whatever color you like here. And I think I will choose a fuchsia. I'm going to set the auto size to false. And let's set the size 100, 50. The text is going to say hold, all uppercase. I'm going to align that text into the center. I'm going to set the forecolor to white. And I'm going to change the font to Microsoft Sans Serif Bold and 18 point. That looks pretty good. I'm going to position that over top my first card. I'm going to copy and paste, get a second one. We're going to name this one LBL Hold 2. And as you can guess, we're going to paste 3 more times and do LBL Hold 3, 4, and 5. We're going to create an image list. I'm going to scroll down my toolbox down to the components. I'm going to grab the image list, just drag it over onto my form, and of course it'll put it down in the system tray. We're going to name that image list IMG cards. I'm going to set the color depth to 24-bit. And the size is going to be 140, 194. That is the size of all of our cards. And then we need to import those cards into our collection. So I'm going to go to the images. I'm going to say add. And I'm going to find those cards. I'm going to start with the back of the card. And I want the other 52 cards then. So it's going to be 53 images. So down, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click on 0052 CA JPEG and open that. And that's going to import all of our cards into our image list. Now if you notice, index 0 is the back of our card. 1 is going to be the deuce of spades, 2 is the 3 of spades, 4 of spades, down to card 13 is our ace of spades. And then we have all of the hearts, starting with deuce in index 14, down to the ace on index 26. Then we have the diamonds going from deuce to ace, and the clubs going from deuce to ace. And it's important that they are in that order. They should come in automatically in that order because it's going to alphabetize these. And of course, if not, you can always move these up or down in the list. I'm going to click OK. And we're going to use those images in setting the images for our 5 different cards. Initially, though, I set the image to just that back of the card to start things out so we can see the design view a little bit later. When we start our program, or when we want to show these later, these back of the cards, when we reshuffle, we're going to want to show image 0 of our image index named IMG cards. Next, we're going to create some buttons. And I'm going to create a button underneath my first card. The text is going to be hold. And I'm going to name the button BTN Hold 1. going to make my button just a little bit larger. In fact, I'm going to resize this. I'll probably do something like 95, 40. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to take that button, copy and paste. And as you probably have already guessed, this one's going to be named BTN Hold 2. Then we want to do buttons for BTN Hold 3, BTN Hold 4, and BTN Hold 5. I'm going to create another label. I'm not going to bother to name this label, but the text is going to be balanced. I'm going to make it all uppercase with a colon. I'm going to set the fore color to white. And I'll make it a little bit larger in bold. So I'm thinking bold, probably 11 point is going to be good. I'm going to create another label underneath of that. This one we're going to name LBL balance. I'm going to set the auto size to false. I'm going to set the back color to yellow. I'm going to start with text of 100. We're going to center that text. And let's take the font and make it bigger. Let's go bold. I think probably bold 14. I'm going to go larger than that. Let's do a bold 18. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to just bring this up a little closer to the label. I'm going to select both of those, copy, paste. We're going to change the top label text to be bet. Change the text to 5. And we're going to narrow this. I'm going to bring this over a little bit. And once again, I'm going to paste. Move these labels over to the right of the other two. I'm going to change that top label to say payout. We'll set the text to 0 of the second label. I'm going to narrow that up a little bit. And I'm going to name that label LBL payout. And I think I forgot to name this one. This one should be LBL bet. And I'm going to bring these up, all 6 of these up a little bit, so that they're kind of close to being even with the top of my payout table. Next, I'm going to create a button. We're going to name the button BTN Draw. The text is going to be draw. And again, I'm going to set the font something a little bit larger. Let's do bold 14 point. I'm going to copy and paste. The text on this pasted button is going to be bet 1. And I'm going to narrow this. And I'm going to actually bring this down just a little bit. And this one's going to be named BTN Bet 1. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to put this one over on the right hand side. And this one will be BTN Bet 5. And the text is going to be Bet 5. And I'm going to paste another one. It's going to go in between. This one, though, is only going to say 2. And I'm going to make it considerably narrower. And this will be named BTN Bet 2. And then I'll copy that button, paste. This one will be a BTN Bet 3. And the text will just be the number 3. And we'll paste one more time. And this one will be BTN Bet 4, and the text will be 4. And I'm going to select those 5 buttons, make them equal spacing horizontally, and make sure they're all aligned at the top. I have one more control to add, and that is a label. I'm going to create a label that hides the 5 buttons. I'm going to set the auto size to false. We're going to name this LBL result. I want the back color to be yellow. I'm going to align the text in the center and set the text to place your bet and click single quote draw to begin. And I'm going to set the size of the font to be larger and bold. 18 point is probably a pretty good size. And there then is our interface for phase 1. And you don't see it, but we also have those 5 hold buttons behind our LBL result label. And that concludes phase 1 of developing our interface. We want to make sure we go to the File menu and choose Save All. So in the next video, we will begin coding the gameplay. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the C# Xamarin Programming Cohort playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.